the same scene 4 times, 5 times, and we just look to get the best footage from the scene. It's not that we have 3 totally different scenes which we choose from, but we choose the best footage. If we had from the Oslo television, we got a lot of footage. We got footage from, obviously, from the German. We got them from 2 American stations and so on. So, but sometimes they dealt with the same matter, only from different angles. And I then chose, together with Kevin and a collaborator in London, John Batzek, who was also responsible for the music, we chose just what are the best scenes. This is a normal procedure, and in documentary filmmaking, you don't have that many scenes which are different from each other. So to have 1/3 of the footage is I guess, average.
You go over the budget, or
well, when I have a feature film, it is very easy. We have a strict budget, and we have a insurance from the film finance that if it goes over budget, they pay whatever it is, but the insurance of the film finance is very expensive. This insurance does not exist for documentary films. In documentary films, you have to make a estimated budget, which sometimes is more than what it costs, but most of the time the film costs much more than what is budgeted. But it's extremely difficult to budget an authentic documentary from the beginning. So it's not something that you can count on. You just have to be aware that it probably will cost more than you think it will cost. Excuse me, the rules of the Sika were authenticity, and the rules were about acting, but the acting is mainly applicable to feature films and not to documentaries, so that didn't play here. However, I did take a lot of time, maybe a year, to find everybody who is alive today who was part of the action 25 years ago. So it is authentic in the sense that people can identify with the film because they know that everybody in the film is the person who actually dealt with the matter, who actually saw the Israelis, who actually spoke to them, etc., etc. So the last rule that I should think of what I want to do myself and not what people tell me not to do is certainly applicable here, because the film was considered a dead issue before it started, and it became a very live issue when it was finished, because people thought it was a very, very good idea to have this matter of the first terror attack brought to the screen in a way which is believable. And the believability is due to the fact that everybody in the film was part of the action 25 years ago. I believe this is a big finding of the film, and without that, the film would have done nothing. I thought it was a good idea to bring back the first terror attack, in the sense that I am able, together with the director Kevin MacDonald, to have painting of something which happened 25 years ago in a way that is actually accurate from A to Z. And that is something which intrigued me, and that's something which I felt was very important. I also felt that people tend to forget these things, and I thought it was important that people remember. And I have done a documentary which you may not know, called the Final Solution, which Elie Wiesel said it was the best film on the Holocaust, but that was also done at the time with an aim to help not to forget, and to help that there is a document which can be continued to be viewed by future generations, so that things we don't want to be forgotten should not be forgotten. And that is possible only if something is visible in terms of film and not only photos. The message obviously is to make memorable films, and I try to make films which people remember for a long time. And I try to make films which have a human aspect which makes it easier not to be forgotten. You can't compare Central Station with Brief Vacation, and you can't compare Dangerous Moves with, let's say, The Chorus or other films I've made. But they all have some humanity and some basic value, human value, which makes it fascinating for people to watch, and which makes it difficult for people to forget the film. That is my main aim in making films, that people should not forget what I did, so that when I go, I was some years ago in Venezuela, and outside of Caracas there was a little cinema which played one of the films I made, and I was very proud because I thought I come from a little town in Switzerland, in Basel, and here in Venezuela, many, many years later, they see this film. So I had a personal joy to see that what I did had international value. And obviously, and it goes to Japan, or when it goes, as I was a few times in China, it's of more significant, but I want the human message of the films to be understood and to be respected and to be liked to an extent that the films are not forgotten. At least I believe that I have the aim that when I make a film, and I only make every 2 years a film, that the aim is that the next day at breakfast they haven't forgotten the film, but they talk about it, and maybe 2 weeks later they talk about it. And it is interesting that when I am in New York or somewhere and they know my name or they know one of the films, they don't talk about the film as such, but they talk about special scenes of the film which they remember still today. And that is a sign that it touched something of their soul with the film, and that's something a filmmaker is particularly proud. The usual contract was done by him with everybody else, and he didn't get special financial compensation, and the filming was done with a total of 4 people. We didn't want more because we have the director and 2 more people, because we were afraid, or I was afraid, that if it would be too many people, the word would spread around what he said, and that is one of the gimmicks of the film, because everybody expected the presence of the Palestinian terrorist to be an apologetic statement, which it is the contrary of it, and that's why it was important for me that nobody should know about it before the film came out. To the people who were in the film, they didn't get any compensation. But there was something else which is very